into a grocery store and heard a child screaming. Seen a parent that looked lost or frustrated? Have you ever thought about what you might do differently? Now, I'm not here to tell you that I can eliminate screaming because I can't, but I can offer you an option. Now, I know that most of you don't have your own children, but all of you did show interest in forms of communication and how we can better speak to or understand those that we might not be able to communicate with very well. So a little about me. I do have two children. My daughter is 6 and my son is 1, both of whom I have or am implementing baby sign language practices with. On top of that, I work in the field of ABA. I teach neurodivergent children a handful of behaviors. I care a lot about children and providing them with these tools and helping them just communicate better and really understanding those little brains. So today I'm going to talk to you about the benefits of infant sign language, how it can really increase and help early childhood milestones, how they can be used to alter negative behaviors, and how those things can really help them build stronger relationships. So let's begin. Early childhood milestones are defined by the CDC website in terms of how they play, learn, speak, act, and move. So when we are teaching early sign language, we're building the foundation for expressive language skills. In ABA terms, we call this manding. It's how you ask for what you need or what you want. Next, we're building fine motor skills. When we're teaching kids to put their hands together and make these fine movements, we're kind of building the basics for writing skills later in life and those just early motor skills. And then social emotional development, when kids start actually putting these signs into practice and communicating with them, with their caregivers, they're learning the basics of those social emotional skills and how to develop play skills, which are really important for children. Now that I've talked to you about some benefits, I want to discuss how teaching baby sign language can actually alter negative behaviors. So maladaptive behaviors are defined as anything that is socially or emotionally unwanted or undesirable. So this can include screaming, hitting, kicking, biting, all of those kinds of things. So when we teach children how to use signs, we are teaching them an alternative behavior. So if your child screams because they want more of something and we teach them how to sign more, as they start implementing that sign of more consistently, the screaming behavior actually decreases because they have an alternative choice. This is really beneficial for children and parents too. The medical research on Science Direct actually stated that without early intervention, negative behaviors will persist. So without signs or some other form of teaching, children will continue to scream or do whatever they need to get those things that they need or that they want. Next and most importantly is how those benefits and milestones and reducing negative behaviors kind of combine to help them build really strong relationships. So when kids start in new social environments such as daycare or kindergarten, without the screaming, when they've learned alternative behaviors, they tend to fit in better. It just helps them not have to be looked past for their screaming or their poor behaviors and allows teachers and children to really get to know them. It also helps in those play skills we were talking about. So the social emotional development that teaches them how to communicate and puts them in a better spot to start peer interactions and making friends and doing those things. And most importantly is how the children are interacting with their caregivers or parents. According to the Society for Research in Child Development, mothers are actually more receptive to their children's communications and actually encouraged more independent skills when they were in gestural training. This is likely because parents that are teaching these skills are looking for them. They're trying to reinforce them, tell them they're doing a good job, so they become more receptive to all of the ways that their children are trying to communicate. And children are getting more positive feedback in this manner. So as opposed to constantly being told, no, stop, don't do that, they're actually being told, good job, and I'm so proud of how you did this, which is just so beneficial for the development of a small child. So I do just want to leave you with a few thoughts. We talked about how baby sign language can benefit a child in their early childhood milestones, how it can help reduce negative behaviors, and how those things can really help them build strong relationships. I know that most of you don't have kids and some of you never will, but likely you will interact with a child at one point in your life. And I hope that I've at least shared some insight into how those little brains develop and how we can begin to communicate with them better when they're not at a point to understanding us. I think really we're just providing these little brains with another tool, taking what we learned in our last generation and adding to it a little bit for the next, which I really believe is all any of us can do anyway. So thank you.